we're in fantastic books and where to find them. This week I want to talk about a book that completely, utterly blew me away. It's due out on September 7th, which is less than a week away. I'm so excited for everyone to read this so we can all talk about it. So I'll pop pre-order links in the description below, so if you guys want to check it out, you can do. What is this book, you may ask? This book is The Loneliest Girl in the Universe by Lauren James. Oh my god. I managed to get hold of a signed, finished copy from YALC. It was at the Waterstone stand. I just had my face glittered. I've tried to glitter up a little bit now, but it's not as epic as the way they did it at YALC, which I'll put a picture somewhere. And that was all done in aid of promoting this book, which is out, like I said, September 7th, but they had the early finished copies at the Waterstone stand, which was brilliant. I'd already thought about getting this book because, oh my god, the cover is gorgeous. It's so sparkly and colourful and I love it. So I kind of used the excuse to myself that because they'd, glittered my face up for free in aid of this book, as a thank you, I would buy the book. I didn't realise until about a week later that it wasn't even out yet, and I didn't actually until I started reading that it was a signed copy as well. So that was an awesome surprise. So thank you, Waterstones, and thank you, Walker Books. Can you fall in love with someone you've never met, never spoken to, someone who is light years away? That's the tagline on the back of the book, and from that I figured it's going to be some kind of sort of contemporary set in space kind of affair. And then I read the blurb. Romy Silvers is the only surviving crew member on a spaceship bound for a new planet. She is the loneliest girl in the universe until she hears that a second spaceship has launched from Earth with a single passenger on board, a boy called Jay. Their only communication is via email and the messages take months to transmit, yet Romy finds herself falling in love. But what does she really know about Jay, and what do the strange new messages from Earth mean? Sometimes there's things worse than being alone. And from that I figured this would be maybe like Fangirl but set in space with a hint of, Lake House thrown in there with their emails. And I just finished Zenith, and I quite often I'll have like a contemporary as like a palette cleanser in between stuff. I feel like a nice short book like this, just to help me recover. Lauren James, if you're watching this review right now, stop laughing. You know what you did. For a good chunk of the book, I did enjoy the sort of fluffy storyline that was going on. That was exactly how I thought it would be. Romy has, gone through some trauma, but she's in a really relatable character, and she was enjoyable to read, and you couldn't help but feel for her. I actually had a bit of trouble eventually sort of working out where the conflict was going to come from. I had some ideas, and all of them are wrong, but I kind of love that. This is a thriller. No matter how fluffy it starts off to begin with, and the moment you truly understand that, it will be far, far too late. It got to the point where I found like each revelation, it sort of felt like, when you're walking down the stairs and it's dark and you're tired and you expect that last step to be there and it's not. And you feel like, oh my god, my stomach is going to leave my body and I'm going to fall to my death. That is how each of those felt. I do find you get a couple of these in each book I've been reading at the moment. But most of the time you can sort of see them coming. And I don't know how I didn't see this coming in a way, because you go back afterwards and you think, it's so obvious, but it obviously wasn't, because it completely took me by surprise. And you get to the point where you don't know what is real and you don't trust anyone or anything. And that's probably a good thing. I'm pretty sure it did also influence my nightmares for the next week as well. So thank you again, Lauren, for that one. But I did thoroughly enjoy it. I didn't get bored, despite the fact there's not that many characters. And I did actually put, orange tabs are what I used for bits I didn't like in a book. There were 7 in this entire book. That is it. And when I went back and looked at them again after I'd finished the book, I think maybe one of them is maybe slightly valid, if that. And I kind of even understand the reasoning behind that as well. It just annoyed me personally, and that wasn't anything major, it's just a personal preference. I also want to mention the science in this, it felt genuine, which was nice, but it wasn't so confusing. I was like, what on earth? Because I think otherwise if that happens, you kind of skip over that bit. Like if there's words I can't pronounce in a lot of books, I just sort of skip over them, which is probably a bad idea. But I enjoyed reading the science in this because it made sense to me, but it didn't sound completely fake and made up. This wolf in sheep's clothing of a book completely blew my expectations out of the water. I'm so glad that I got to read it, and I think it's probably been one of my favourite books this year. So I am going to give it a whole 5 stars because I do think it deserves it. Like I said, the problems I had with it were actually mostly negated by the time I'd actually finished the book. And at only 290 pages, it's a really quick read, and you can sort of slot it into your towering pile of TBRs without feeling too guilty. So, like I said, it's not out yet, but I will put a link in the description below for this beautiful, beautiful... I mean, like I said, look how small it is. You wouldn't think the amount of stuff that happens in this book, you could fit it all in that. But, yeah, I highly recommend it. So, thank you guys at Walker Books making it possible for me to get hold of this book. Thank you, Lauren James, for writing this book because, wow, I have never read a Lauren James book before, but I'm going to have to check the others out, I think. I'm curious. And thank you whoever designed this cover because it is gorgeous. So that's all from me. I hope you enjoyed this review. I'm hoping I've kept it as spoiler-free as possible. I'm trying to make sure from now on that if I'm reviewing a book that's not out yet, I will only do a spoiler-free review until it has been released. If you want to talk about spoilers in the comments, just maybe put like a big spoiler warning, or you can message me on Instagram or Twitter. I do check them regularly, so I will get your messages, don't worry. But that's all from me for now. I'll speak to you guys next time. Goodbye!